Hello dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm going to keep a visual eye over the topic of your listening and speaking skills subject, that is your elements of communication process. Now we have to see that what are the basic elements of a speech communication process used within the different categories, used within the different conversations according to the situation. Now let's have a look on the elements of speech. Now, these are the basic 7 elements of a speech communication process. First one, speaker. Second, message. Then channel. Then listener. Then feedback, interference, and last, situation. Now, let's have a look on the first one, that is your speaker. Now, we have to see that what actually the speaker is. Speaker means the person who speaks, who delivers, who gives the lecture, who gives his own idea, who makes his own opinion about any topic. Now that becomes a speaker. Now the speaker can be the teacher as well. If you just take the example of a teacher, likewise, when a teacher who comes towards a class in the campus and he teaches the students. Now during teaching process, he becomes the speaker. Now, accept teaching example, I can give you another example of the students as well. That when a teacher who calls a student to do the presentation on any topic, now the following student becomes the speaker as well. Now, accept the class example. Now, from this book, you should come to know that the Imran Khan makes his own opinion for the Kashmir, that what is happening in the Kashmir or with the Kashmir people in the UNO. And he delivers his lecture, he delivers his speech on the topic of the Kashmir and Islamic phobia, that Islam has nothing with the terrorism. So that's why he becomes the speaker in the UNO community, or countries, or UNO members. Now the second, that is your message. Yes, of course, message plays a distinguished role within the communication process. Likewise, now we have to see that what actually the message is. Now the message is what is being communicated through the speaker. Now that becomes a message. The message can be the topic, it can be any kind of a theme, it can be subjective matter, or you can say that when the teacher who delivers, who gives the lecture to the students about any topic. Likewise, if I just give you the practical example right now, that I'm teaching you the 7 elements of a speech communication process. Now that becomes, now this topic becomes a message for you students. So that's why it is your message. Now accept this example, I can give you another example of the computer science department or the business. Likewise, if you just take the example of computer science students, that they learn from the teacher about, likewise, C++, Java, computer based knowledge, or binary languages, or whatever. So these are the basic messages for the computer science students. Now, just take the example of BBA students, that they learn the topic, they learn the message of accounting, ledger, or you can say income statement. Now, these are the basic messages for the BBA students. Now, the third one, that is your channel. Now, what is channel? Now, channel actually plays a distinguished role whenever the communication takes place. Definitely there is a need of channel. Yes, of course, there is a need of the medium or source through which the sharing of knowledge takes place. Likewise, we just take the example of practical learning, that we are not conducting the manual classes in the campus, so that's why we need a medium, we need a source. Likewise, the laptops, Zoom apps, cell phones, or later, these are the basic, the channels through which a person can communicate his idea, can share his idea. He makes his he can easily make his own opinion towards the other person. So that's why the channel plays a vital role. Now the cell phone, Zoom app, or you can say Google app, these are the basic channels of the communication process. Now the fourth one, that is your listener. Now the listener can be the audience, uh, can also be the receiver as well. To just take the example of our campus, so whenever there is an event which takes place, definitely we request the guest for the following event. So during speaking of guest, definitely the person, the students who are in the auditorium, they become the listener, they become the audience, they become the receiver who receive the knowledge from the guest, from the speaker. That's why they become the listener. Now, fifth one, that is your environmental situation. Means a setting where learning and teaching process take place. Now, the environmental situation can be the classrooms as well. When the teacher who teaches the student, definitely there is a formal setting, formal gathering in which the students and the teachers are sharing the knowledge with each other. Now, accept the class room. We can give you another example. We can have another example as well. I think from this pic, we should come to know that there is a meeting, there is a formal setting where a company or the members of different companies, they're having a conversation about an issue regarding their own company. So this is a formal situation. This is a formal context, or this is a formal meeting, or you can say this is a formal gathering where the different people share their own ideas. Yes, of course. The sixth one, that is your feedback. Now, feedback is basically a backbone of communication process, because after completing the lecture, after completion of any topic, we demand, we need the feedback from the audience. Now the feedback can be in terms of your visual, it can be in terms of your verbal cues. Now we have to see that how, now question arises that how it is it is your visual feedback. Now the visual feedback, likewise we can see the example. Likewise, after completing the lecture, we ask the student, we ask the student, Baba, did you get our point? So he he suddenly changes his facial expression. Now from the facial expression, from the student's visual feedback, we come to know that the following student has not got our point. Or if he gets our point, definitely he, he uh, changes, or he gives his head ups and downs, up and down. Likewise, yes, of course, sir, we got the point. He, moves he moves his head up and down. So we come to know that the following student has got our point. Now, the verbal cues. Verbal cues means after the lecture, definitely the students say, of course, sir, we got. Means from a speaking point of view, from speaking, from oral or vocal folds, or from producing our sounds, definitely the student says that of course sir, we got your point. Means that becomes the verbal cues, means speaking feedback. Last at the least, interference or noise. That means noise means the disturbance. Now the disturbance can be in terms of internal, it can be in terms of your external. Now just take the example of internal, that whenever there is a lecture going on in the class and few students are making noise in the class, so that becomes the internal noise, because the noise is taking place within the classroom. That's why it becomes the internal noise. But whereas during teaching, there is a noise which comes out of the classroom, so that becomes a external noise. Likewise, some students are fighting, or some students usually fight out of the class or in the universities, so that's why that becomes the external noise. I hope so. This is all about today's lecture. I hope that you have got my point. Uh, However, if you have any kind of a question, you can leave your comments after having a look on this PPT video. So for now, Allah Thank you.